All right, so how'd you do? So I'm going to walk you through the answer key to the coffee mug. So the first thing I'm going to do is set up a projects folder. Okay, so I'm going to go File, Project Window, and I'm going to go New, and I'm going to call this, I'm going to put it on the desktop, I'm going to say Select, and I'm going to call this Coffee Mug. On the desktop and click Accept. When I do that, it's going to create a folder. Here it is, Coffee Mug. And if I open up that folder, I can see that there's a lot of things in here. And if I go into Source Images, I'm going to go ahead and copy the files that were given to me and put them in here. Okay, so I've got the coffee logo and the coffee stain, and that's all true just for the coffee mug. Now maybe I'll save this. I'll go File, Save Scene As, and I can see that it's saving in the coffee mug scenes. I'm going to call this coffee start. I'm going to call this 01_ coffee start. Okay, great. That's a good starting point. Now let's get to the fun part. Let's UV map this. So you can see that I purposely gave it with really bizarre UVs. So I'm not going to let that scare me. I'm just going to select this, move it off to the side, consider that my junk pile. Now for this, actually I think I'll select this whole thing and do a planar map on it. And now it's going to be just kind of, kind of all quote unquote glued together. And now I'm going to cut off, I think what I'll do is I'm going to, notice I can press 1 and 3. 3 is smooth and 1 is non-smooth. I think I'm going to select the bottom faces here. I'm going to press Tab. I'm going to press Tab, select the bottom faces, and I'm going to do a UV planar map. Okay, I've already got a great start. That's the bottom of the cup. And I'll go in here and do the same thing for the inside. Tab. Whoop. There we go. And UV planar map. That looks good. And now let's say I'm thinking about, well, let's see. I want to cut off, around here, kind of like I was talking about with the soup can, if you will. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off this handle right here. I think this is only kind of confusing. It's only going to kind of confuse it. So I'll cut off the handle there and there. That's the obvious place to cut that off. And now I'm going to go to Cut and Cut. There we go. If I go to UV Shell, now I can move this out of the way. There we go. And now you can see that the handle is independent of that. And I still can't really unfold this or unwrap it. So what I need to do is I need to cut off, I think I'm going to cut off this top, maybe right here. Okay, so if I cut it there, I'm going to go to Cut. And now let's see, so now I have a UV shell. So now you can see I have an inside and an outside. Okay, that looks good. Now for the outside, I'm going to think about if this was a label around here, I need a place to cut it so it can unfold. So I think I'm going to go right here and cut that from this thick edge to that thick edge. And then same with down here. Okay. And then here as well. And then remember to get this little edge right there. There we go. And now if I go to Cut, and I'm going to try unfolding this. Okay, excellent. There we go. I'm going to undo that. I'm going to look at my unfolding options. I'm going to set that back to the normal method. Okay, there we go. Now, if I go to the inside here, I think I'm going to put the seam in the inside. I'm going to make sure I go all the way down to the bottom there. And then I'm going to come all the way up until I reach that seam. Okay, there we go. I'll cut that. And now let's see, I should be able to lay this flat. Excellent, there we go. And now the last part, kind of the handle here, I'm going to, I think maybe I'll cut it here. Let's see, yeah, I think I'll cut it from here to there. And then also on this side, whoop. Okay, let's see what that does. So I can see that it gives us an inside and an outside. I'll try unfolding that. That looks good. Unfold. Okay, good. Now I could select all of this stuff and I could try the layout. Okay, hey, that's looking good. And now I can see that this is the bottom of the, or that's the place where I'm going to put the coffee stain. And then this is where I'm going to put the logo. So I want to make sure that that logo has got a kind of enough room. You know, nice big resolution. So I'm going to kind of go like this. Actually, that looks pretty good. The inside maybe is less important, so I could get that maybe a little bit smaller. Or the bottom of the mug is probably the least important, so maybe I go like that. And you may have done this slightly differently. That's okay, right? Maybe I'll fit the handles in these extra spots here. Okay, great. Now I've got to just kind of orientate myself with what's going on here. So this is the bottom of the mug. That's important because I've got the coffee stain that's going to go there. Then this is the outside of the mug. And if I want the logo to be in this location, okay, I got to kind of think about that. So I've got to kind of remember that it's going to be the logo. Yeah, I think kind of from there to here, I think is good. Okay, so I'll say, we'll say 1, 2, 3 squares down from the top, and then maybe 5 squares max. Okay, that's where the logo will be. So I'll just kind of take a mental note of that. I'll double check my shells here. I can see that they're all blue, that they all fit inside. They're not necessarily relatively the same size, but if I deem that some parts are maybe less important, maybe like this inside, or that these are kind of more important, I could kind of cheat it a little bit. But I think I'm pretty happy with this. So I'm going to send this to Photoshop and complete this lesson.